Good morning, everyone. We are live on the Ocean City Boardwalk. This is the Ramp Booth, exclusively on A2DRadio.com. He's John Coyle. I'm Rob Brinkman. Ralphie Delavecchio is producing the program today. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Instagram. We're live on Twitch, Twitter, Periscope. You miss anything here on the Ramp Booth or any of the shows here on A2D Radio, download us wherever you get your podcasts. Spreaker, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Takeover Talk 2022. Big announcements coming. Lots of big announcements coming. Keep it locked right here. Tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, just every day of the week. We have 19 shows. You don't have to go anywhere else. National, wrestling, hockey,
soccer. We got
soccer. We have soccer. Like we have absolutely everything. There's absolutely no other source you need for your sports talk in this Philadelphia market. We got it all covered. Like I said, we're brought to you by All Campus here on the Ocean City Boardwalk between 10th and 11th Street. See, I got that right this time, John. Yeah, 10th and 11th Street here on the Ocean City Boardwalk. Actually, a pretty beautiful day. What is it, February 6th?
Beautiful
February 5th?
40 degrees, no wind, sun's out. Beautiful
sun's
day.
out, guns out. You know, I might go walk on the beach after the show. I might take my shirt off, jog around. Who knows?
There you go.
But it's beautiful down here. You got something on your mind. You're in the area. Come on down. Rant with us. You're an A2D member. You get 20% off. Cornhole, hat in hand, 4 shots. You get 20% off. It's going to be a jam-packed show today. We're in this, like, sports lull.
Yeah.
Super Bowl Sunday, obviously next Sunday. Rams, Bengals, we'll get back. We'll get into that a little bit. The Senior Bowl was yesterday. We'll get into some of that.
A lot of highs and lows in that game.
A lot of highs and lows. Some guys look good.
Right.
And other guys look not so good. So we're going to get into that. Brad Quass will be on in a little bit. A little bit. We'll get into some football. But it's going to be basketball today. A little bit of a change of pace here on the Ramp Booth. We've just been immersed in the Eagles season, immersed in the NFL playoffs. We're talking about the NBA. Yeah. And, John, I'm convinced that in my neighborhood up in Bucks County, like, I don't watch the same NBA as the rest of the Delaware Valley. I think I have, like, a different version of it maybe because I'm here to learn today. Because I have these opinions about the process and the Sixers and Ben Simmons and how far this team can actually go. And everyone seems to think I'm a crumb and I'm a negative Nancy about the Sixers. So I don't get it. So we're going to start with our poll question. The 76ers should be all in for James Harden. Agree, disagree. And if James Harden's not your cup of tea, that's fine. We'll throw Lillard, Beal, Harden, the group of them. The Sixers should be all in for a max player. John Coyle, for the life of me, I don't understand how anybody can disagree with this poll question.
Man, I am not going to disagree, but I'm not going to agree either. I have to see the package that's going back. If I'm giving up Maxey, Thibault, Ben for Harden, I can't do that. I feel like that's too much. For Beal, for Lillard, I just feel like that's too much. Now, if I got to give up Maxey and Ben for Harden, I consider it, yes. Maxey and Ben for Beal, who's going to be your point guard if you do that? Are you trusting Seth Curry to run point for you?
No.
Beal's not.
This is why I want Harden, because you run the ISO with Harden when you need a bucket. You can run the pick and roll game with Harden and Joe, and it's a match made in heaven. And then you have Tobias doing his thing as a third wheel as opposed to a 2-wheel.
Which would be great for him.
Which would be great.
Yes.
Which would make your team better. But, like, Maxey, Thibault, Ben, whatever. I'd like to try and hold on to Thibault.
I would like to try and hold on to Thibault. If it costs me Maxey and Ben to get James Harden, I'm done. Sign me up today. Done. I do want to sign and deal. I don't want him on a 1-year rental. Right?
No, I mean, you would like Daryl. The Sixers wouldn't let that happen.
I hear you.
And even if the Nets don't get anything for James Harden at the deadline, they're not letting James Harden go for free.
I 100% agree.
But people, this is what I hear. This is why I think this is where there's a disconnect between me and the people in the NBA.
Right.
And, like, the people in the NBA are here, and then Rob Brinkman's over here. So I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to lay it out for everyone. And then people, I want to get the comments going. I want to get you going. Maybe if Brad's a basketball guy, we can get him going and teach me.
Right.
But let me break it down for you. Here's why you trade Ben Simmons and Tyrese Maxey for any of the three players that I mentioned.
Okay.
How old's Tyrese Maxey?
24?
No.
What is he?
He's a 19-year-old rookie. He's 20, 21 years old max.
21? Okay. All right.
So how old's Joe? What's he, 28?
28? Yeah.
Okay. So by the time I listened to Tim Legler in an interview on a podcast this week, he said between 28 and 32 is when your physical and mental prime meet as an athlete, and that's when you reach your peak.
Correct.
That's 8 years away for Tyrese Maxey. So you want to hold on to Tyrese Maxey with a deadlock grip.
And then you're afraid you're going to lose Joel.
For 8 seasons. Joe, at 35,
right?
How effective is he going to be? You have the best freaking player in the NBA, and you have assets to surround him with what he needs to win a championship. Listen, James Harden, Tobias Harris, and Joel Embiid might win a championship.
I agree with you. Yes. I'm all in for that.
Ben's out. Ben's not playing here.
Correct.
Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris, and Joel Embiid, you might not even win a playoff series.
It'll be tougher, no doubt. It'll be tougher.
You're not winning a championship with that as your big three. If Tobias Harris is your second best player,
I agree.
Set up, close up shop and go home. You're not going anywhere.
Joe would have to be phenomenal in every game for us to do that.
I mean, he would have to be phenomenal just to win a playoff series.
Correct.
Look, there's not, and we're going to find out about this team at 3:30 on ABC, Game of the Week. They're in Chicago.
It's a big game.
Big game.
Big game. Yeah.
Because the trade deadline is the 10th.
Right.
We're sitting here, what is it, the 6th. So, there's 4 days away.
Yep.
And Morey seems to be content to just throw this season away and waste a year of Joel Embiid's prime. Look, 2 guys just went from Portland to the Clippers in that deal.
Yeah.
There are guys all over the trade Morey could have gotten his hands on to improve this team.
Listen,
Eric Bledsoe, Robert Covington. Who else went in that?
Yeah,
these are role players and aren't going to get you there, but
correct.
They help.
That's where
the goal of the trade deadline is to get your basketball team better. And right now, they're clearly not good enough. I mean, I'm watching a game against the Wizards where you're 10-point favorites at home, and Bradley Beal's on the bench, and you lose the game outright. Excuse me? You want to do that? Play like that at home against a team that's just not good without their best player, and you want to tell me this team has a chance to make noise in a very good Eastern Conference playoffs? Then you go out the next night in Dallas, and I had to adjust my eyes. Dallas Mavericks played zone in the second half against the Sixers.
Complete zone.
So there wasn't a damn thing the Sixers perimeter guys could do about it. Tobias didn't hit shots. Maxey didn't hit shots. And you get absolutely Seth didn't hit shots. Nobody did anything.
Yeah.
And you got boat raced by a pretty average roster down there in Dallas. And and again, you want to hit me up on social media, hit up my Twitter that I'm wrong, that this team has a chance to do something in the playoffs? No shot.
I think you're being a little bit hard. I do think this team is capable of winning.
Yeah, but John, it's championship or bust.
If you're talking championship,
you can't lose for 6 straight years on purpose and embarrass me as a fan, embarrass the city of Philadelphia, embarrass the NBA and the sport of basketball in general, and not be in championship or bust mode right now.
I hear you, and you're right. You need to be championship or bust mode. Getting James Harden puts you over that hump. Yes, go get James Harden. I'm all for that. But now, if you're talking Dame Lillard or you're talking Bradley Beal, I'm not sold on that. I'm not sold on my backcourt being Seth Curry and Beal. I just you're not beating Atlanta, let alone trying to compete with the Bucks. Like it's just not going to happen. You have to have a good trade coming back if you're trading Ben. No matter what people want to say, Ben Simmons is a huge asset and a great player. All right? We need to get value from that. Getting Beal is, to me, a lost deal. Yes, Brandon Beal's a great player. I'm not denying that. But does he fit with this team? I don't know. I don't know.
He's replacing a guy who's not. Listen.
You're right. But let's go. Let's make that trade. All right, Ben and Maxey for Brandon Beal. Okay? All right. We go and play Washington Wizards.
Okay.
Do you not think Ben is locking down Beal? And then what do we got?
Yeah, but they don't have.
Then what do we got?
They don't have an answer for Joe. You see that Daniel Gafford
Gafford's
on Friday
not bad, but you could double team him.
Joe Embiid threw Daniel Gafford around like a ragdoll on Friday night.
You can shut down Joe just like we've seen in past playoffs.
Yeah,
no matter what anyone says, past playoffs, fourth quarter, Joel was shut down. Now, there's a lot of arguments of, Ben was a liability on the floor, blah, 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 whatever. Joe stunk in the fourth quarter of games in the playoffs last year. Let's not get it twisted. That's because they ran double teams out, and we have seen it this year. When people run double teams constantly at Joel, he's not as consistent. He's not as good.
But when it's nut cutting time in the playoffs and you're playing 4-on-5 on the offensive end, what do you want Joe to do?
I hear you. I get that. If that's going to be your quote unquote built-in excuse, then okay, then let's do it. Let's find out what happens this year then, and that's where I'm agreeing with Morey. Okay, you have Maxey, who is a great offensive talent. Let's find out what we do in the playoffs this year.
Look, I think we're in. I agree with some of what you said. I strongly agree with some of the stuff you just said, and I also strongly disagree with some of the stuff you just said. So I agree. I think we both agree that if Ben Simmons were mentally healthy, whatever's going on with him,
he's a top 5 player in the league. He's a top 5 player.
If he shot the basketball and made his foul shot, maybe. But I think we both agree that Ben Simmons is a good player, has an unbelievable skill set, and the best chance for this team to go to the Eastern Conference Finals is for Ben to just magically be cured of his
100%
and start playing basketball.
Come back in a Sixers uniform and just play. Yes. That makes us the ultimate best team that we could be.
But, I don't understand how you can sit here and tell me that I need to hold out for a great deal. Look, Shaq roasted him.
Yes.
3 different times this week.
Right.
Once real bad. Once on whatever, the Big Up podcast. That's actually, it's a pretty good podcast, and he really let loose again. He said that Ben Simmons went in his DMs.
Apparently, he told it right to his face in DMs, apparently, yeah.
And so Shaq roasted him for DMing him and being soft on that sense. Joe, which you can check out our A2D social media pages, did the Charmin Ultra.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a subliminal shot.
That's going right to him. Yep.
At Ben. So nobody respects this guy.
I'm with you.
Former player. But how can you agree with me and hold out for the best deal possible when you're not getting? No one wants this guy.
Because
how can you want this guy?
If you're trading Ben for anyone in the league straight up, I'm all in. I'm all in. I don't care. Give me Sabonis give me Levert. I don't care. I'm all in. But if you're telling me I got to package Maxey or Thibault, now it's a different story. Now, getting Beal, to me, in that package, makes you a worse team. You don't have a point guard. You don't have a point guard.
Maxey's your point guard.
If you're trading Maxey in the deal, how's he your point guard?
You're confusing me. You just said straight up.
No. I'm trading anyone in the league for Ben Simmons straight up. Anyone. I don't care who it is. If it gets rid of Ben Simmons, I'm all in. But if I have to throw Maxey or Thibault in that deal, it needs to be a home run guy who can handle the ball a James Harden.
I think I could. Nobody really. I don't think. A lot of people don't have respect for what Thibault can do for you off the bench or as a low-end starter.
He's a great defender, which you need in this league, guys.
But, I mean, I'm not letting him stand in the way of a Bradley Beal, Dame Lillard, or James Harden trade. So let's put him off to the side for a second. The deal is
Maxey.
How can you convince me that the Brooklyn Nets are not going to demand that Tyrese Maxey be in the trade for James Harden.
Of course they're going to demand it. I 100% expect them to demand it, and that's what it's on Daryl Morey to say, no, I'm not giving you that. I'll give you Thibault and Simmons. Yes, I'll give you those two.
Daryl Morey has blundered this since the draft and has no leverage.
Listen, depending on who you're getting. If you're going for James Harden, I'm okay giving Maxey up because Harden can control the ball. He does it now.
Well, Lillard
He's done it his whole career. Lillard cannot control the ball.
He's one of the best point guards in the league. What are you talking about?
I don't want him running the point for us.
That's what he does. That's his position. He's a super max point guard. What do you mean?
I mean, C.J. McCollum was handling the ball a lot.
These are the things that I hear, and I'm like, I like question myself. Like, you don't want Dame Lillard running point for you? What?
I guess I'm not opposed to it, but I wouldn't. Anything that's going to take the ball away from Joel, like Lillard or a Beal would do.
What do you think Harden's going to do? He's a meat
Harden
guy.
Averages 10 assists a game.
There might be no bigger me guy than in the league than James Harden.
The dude averages 10 assists a game. He's in the top 10 in assists almost every year. So
which is why that's
he's
the number
doing
one.
Something great.
Which is why the poll question is centered around.
And
James
I'm
Harden.
all in for James Harden. I'm trading all three pieces. I'm trading Thibault, Maxey, and Ben for James Harden. I'm all in.
Well, I haven't heard you say that definitively yet.
I'm all in for James Harden. I said it in the very beginning. But if you're talking Lillard or Beal, I'm being a little bit more selective of who I give up because I do think the addition by subtraction theory is what I think that would be.
Yeah, I mean, if Ben is a Budweiser and Thibault's a Bud Light, two stinky, overrated beers.
Right. I just can't. I can't get behind having a backcourt of Beal and Seth Curry. It just hurts me. It hurts me because I do think if you come across whoever if we trade him to Washington, Washington's going to be a good team with Ben Simmons. They're going to be a good team. Kyle Kuzma is not a bad player. He's a good player on that team that can carry them a little bit offensively.
Look, and these are comments that don't all in besides Maxey from Tom Arnone. I don't understand.
And I'm with them.
I don't understand how you expect to move Ben Simmons without attaching an attractive piece like Tyrese Maxey in a deal. Unless you want to trade Ben for Saddiq Bey and Jeremy Grant or Tyrese Halliburton and Harrison Barnes.
That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do.
I don't think that makes you. I mean, it makes you closer to a championship. Yes, because Ben's not playing here, and you get guys that are actually going to give you minutes. But that doesn't get you. That doesn't put you over the hump. That doesn't make you better than Chicago. Doesn't make you better than Brooklyn. It doesn't make you better than Milwaukee. It doesn't make you better than the Heat. Sixers are 5 right now.
I'm with you. I am with you.
But I don't understand. I don't. If you're with me, then you should be wanting to get James Harden at all costs.
Do you really think that Lillard puts us over there? It doesn't. If you're trading Thibault, Maxey, and Ben for Dame Lillard, you really think we're better than the 5th seed?
Yes.
You're crazy. You're crazy.
Yes.
There's no way. There's no way. We would have to score 140 points to compete. Our defense would be devastated. Joel would be in foul trouble. The people are going to get by all our front court.
Who's Harden covering?
Harden's at least a big body. Harden's at least a big body.
Like 6'3". Bradley Beal, same thing.
They're small guards.
They're beefcake guards.
They're small guards.
They're not, but okay. Let's see. John Castiglione, he's an insider member. Has to be championship or bust, but Maxey has to stay. Anyone else can go.
I'm with you.
What do you have that's attractive that you can piece with Ben?
You don't have anything.
Ben out of town.
See, I think
so. I'm supposed to just because everyone wants to hold on to Maxey. That means a Ben deal's not getting done.
Maybe, yes. Maybe.
Right? Okay? Because Daryl Morey is not trading Ben Simmons for Saddiq Bey, Jeremy Grant, Halliburton, Harrison Barnes, Rashawn Holmes, whoever you want. He's not doing it. He would have done that already.
I'm not going to guarantee this, but I would bet that come the 10th, come trade deadline, and James Harden says to the Nets, hey, I'm walking. All right? If you don't get a deal done, I'm walking.
That's not.
All right? Yeah, he wants out.
But they're going to sign and trade him in the offseason. He's going to sign the $250 Supermax.
Fine.
He can get more from Brooklyn, and then they're going to trade him to somewhere else.
What better pick are you getting? Or better pieces than you're getting than Ben Simmons? There's not a better player in this league that the Nets are going to get than Ben Simmons.
I don't know.
There's not a better piece in this league.
I mean, you're singing high praises for a guy who's only interested in playing with his kitty cat, playing video games, and buying NFTs.
Look,
that's all he cares about.
Ben Simmons is an elite talent in this league. Around the league, but everyone thinks it. You want to devalue him because you have some
because
hate
he doesn't have it right here.
Don't care about that.
Don't care about
that. No one cares about that.
How can you not care about that?
Because
he's throwing away $19 million.
Every single coach, every single GM says, if I had that guy, I can fix him.
Right, because people they're stubborn and they want to fit the square peg in the round hole.
However it works, I don't care.
I don't understand
He's the best piece on the trade market right now.
I don't understand how a guy who's willing to lose all his sponsorship, Vitamin Water, Dre Beats, there's a couple other ones that I'm forgetting, and toss away double-digit millions.
Yeah,
because his
he's
coach,
going to end up losing $60 million when it's all said and done.
Because his coach said something funny, as Shaq said, in a press conference after Game 7 where he choked.
Right,
he choked it away, and that's not a red flag. That if you're a GM, you're not looking at that like, wow, do I really want this guy on my team?
Listen, that's a completely different story, and I've said it 1,000 times.
I
said 1,000 times when that happened. I'm handling it the same way as Ben Simmons. All right, I think Ben Simmons handled it correctly. If my teammates are going to throw me on their bus, if my coach is going to throw me on the bus, get me the hell out of here.
Okay,
get me the hell out of here.
Cool. So
I'm done.
Okay, but you would throw $20 million away?
If I had it, if I know I'm 24, 25, 26 years old, and I got another $100 million coming up behind me, which Ben Simmons does.
No,
let's not kid. Yes, he
not
does.
Right now.
Stop.
Not right now.
Stop it.
He's got to start playing games, John.
So you think the Sixers are going to hold him for 4 years on the bench?
I mean, all I can tell you is what Daryl Morey the moron,
right.
I call him, because everything that comes out of his mouth is just wrong, in my opinion, regarding this. Ben said we shouldn't even be talking about this on February 5th because the NBA draft, he should have traded Ben Simmons.
You're right, but we're here. We're here now. And I can say the same thing. At the end of the game, when everyone was frustrated and furious, Doc Rivers and Joel Embiid just shut their damn mouths. And then we wouldn't be in this situation either.
We're going to blame everyone. We're going to blame everyone but Ben.
I'm blaming Ben. Ben, at this point, nothing's getting resolved. Come a little bit. Right? The Sixers organization, Joel, some of the other players have tried to reach out and make a peace offering, and you shut it down. So that's on you now. All right? There's a whole line of where this has messed up. There's a whole line of where this has messed up the whole last year.
I mean, he's ignoring his family. He's
ignoring everyone.
Rich Paul and
hear
his
you.
representation. I mean, this guy is...
I get it. But let's not diminish what this guy does on the court. What he does on the court is better than anyone else in the entire world. People know that value in the NBA world. People know that value in the GMs, in the league, the players. Everyone realizes what he brings. The only people that have forgotten it are Sixers fans.
Look, there was no... I've always supported Ben. Always.
Right.
Before this. Like, enough's enough.
I'm with you. Enough is enough.
He's not playing here. It doesn't matter what I think of him as a player. He's not playing here.
And to me, that's sad. But yeah, I think you're right. That's sad.
So it doesn't matter that... Because you're right. Because everyone wants Steph Curry. Everyone wants their point guard to go out and shoot 1,000,000 threes and score 40 a game. That's not his game. Doesn't mean he can't help you win. I 100% agree with that. He has an unbelievable skill set.
Right.
All he had to do was shoot 75% from the line.
That's it.
Shoot 1,000.
There it is.
Shoot 1,000 foul shots in the summer.
Yep.
Work on that. Do nothing else. Don't lift the weight.
You don't have to change a thing.
Don't lift the weight.
Just hit a foul shot.
Don't run 3-on-3 in LA with your homies. Just go out there, shoot 1,000. Just go to the gym at 6 a.m.
Yep.
Shoot foul shots till you make 1,000.
You're 100% right.
Then maybe go eat lunch and go make 500 more. That's the only part of the game
that he's got to change. It's the only part of the game he's got to change. Everyone's on Maxey, and Maxey's a great player. Do you guys realize they average the same amount of points per game? Ben averages more assists. Ben averages more rebounds. Ben averages more steals. Ben averages more lockdowns. Ben's a better player. Stop kidding ourselves.
Troy H. Harden could sit out the rest of the season with an injury and kill the Nets' chances. Harden wants to actually win, unlike KD and Kyrie, and he's pissed because he's the only one sacrificing. Well, I don't agree with that about Kevin Durant. I mean, Kevin Durant has
just been
Kevin Durant has
killed.
He's got a knee sprain right now, and he's probably going to be back soon. He's been out for a couple weeks, and honestly, they're going to milk him. Honestly,
why not?
Honestly, if you're Brooklyn, you don't want.
No.
You want to be as close to that 6th seed as possible because you want Kyrie Irving available on the
road games.
On the
You're
road,
right.
if you have a Game 7. That's why it's 3-6 right now. Sixers Nets, if it ended right now. And
the Nets would be huge favorites.
Because you're going to get to a decisive Game 7.
And Kyrie,
it's going to be in Philadelphia, and Kyrie Irving's going to be able to play. So I think, I don't really advocate this, but these are different times.
Right.
With the mandates in some places and not others, and COVID and all that stuff. So you want to stay out of the playing series, obviously. But, I mean, the Nets...
You can steal that 5th seed, you're out of
the Nets want to be that 6-5 seed, stay out of the playoffs, and you play as many Game 7s as possible on the road and hope that someone from California doesn't make the finals.
Correct. Right.
Which Phoenix is looking
Phoenix looks
strong.
like they're going to be the team. Yeah.
Looks strong.
Yep.
So, and I think that Kevin Durant and Kyrie are ready to Kevin Durant and Harden are ready to strangle Kyrie because they want him to get a shot so they can
be there every game.
They can make a legit run at this thing. And even if Kyrie Irving doesn't play a second in the playoffs, I still think at both teams as constructed, the Nets would beat
the Nets are a better team.
The Nets would beat the Sixers with Kevin Durant and James Harden in a 7-game series. Is that first round still 5 or 7 games? I don't even know.
It's 7.
It's 7 now?
It's 7.
It's not 5 anymore?
Yeah, it's 7.
Ted, check us out on YouTube. Ben is a multiple All-Star in his early 20s, elite defensive player.
Should have been Defensive Player of the Year last year. He should have been.
I mean, that's all fine and good. You don't have to sell me on Ben Simmons' skill set. I've sat here on this program on Monday night with the Sports Hounds with Brad Ryer on every show I've ever done, and I said, let's relax on Ben and let's focus on what he can bring to the table as opposed to what he can. And I asked his haters all the time.
You did,
How many points a game does he have to average for you to get off his case? And everyone's like 16, 18.
He did.
I'm like, okay, he's at 14.
I think he's above that for his career. I think he's above that.
When we were having whatever it was, he was a couple points. So you just want him to score 2-3 more points a game, and you're good.
Yeah,
all you're gonna do is crush him. That makes no sense to me.
Listen, debating Ben on the court is a completely different story. The Ben on the court is great. All right.
If you don't show up, it don't matter how good defense you have.
There it is. And so now we're in the spot where we need to trade. All right. So trading him, but you got to get back a piece that fits. We have the best player in the world right now in Joel Embiid. The most dominant player in the NBA right now is on our team. I do not want to trade for a guy that is going to diminish that. All right?
What would diminish? What kind of trade would...
To me, getting a Lillard diminishes that.
I don't understand that.
Lillard is going to shoot 20, 25 shots a game.
How many shots is James Harden going to take?
I don't think James Harden is going to shoot that many. I really don't. I think he's going to be 17 to 18. He gets 10 assists a game.
This is where I'm at with the NBA. I don't watch the same league as everyone.
He gets 10 assists a game. What are we talking about? That means he's passing the ball. That means he's sharing.
When was Brooklyn's last game?
That means he's sharing. All right?
I get it. He passes. I get it.
Okay, who are you going to pass the ball on the Sixers? You're going to give it to Joel. That's all I want. I want our best player to not have to take a hit from bringing somebody in.
Geez, they lost again on Friday. 125, they got smoked by the Jazz. Nets, that is.
Right. I just don't understand this theory of why we want to get a quote-unquote superstar like Dame, who has never won anything in this league, all right, who shoots 30 shots a game.
I mean, look, 19 shots a game for Harden on Friday.
I can live with that. I can live with 19 shots. What was Dame Lillard's last game shots?
Dame Lillard's hurt, and doesn't seem interested in returning until he's fully healthy or moved, even though he's in fantasy
He at least puts up 25 shots a game. At least. That takes 5 possessions away from getting the ball into the most dominant player of the game.
It's a guard league.
Okay.
But it's a guard league. You can't win a championship in the NBA. It's like the franchise quarterback in the NFL. You can't win a championship in today's NBA without an elite perimeter scorer.
So then why are we not talking about Trey and Joe? Like, I don't understand.
Joe? What?
Where are you getting at?
What?
You're saying we're not good with a big guy?
What? Trey Joe? What?
You're saying we can't win with a big guy? With just Joel?
As your focal point?
Yes. As our focal point, Joel. We can't win with them.
As constructed. Look, it's a league of stars. It's a league of stars. You need 3 stars to even be in the conversation.
You're not. So
Trading
you're
100%
not okay with this team going into the playoffs. Like, you don't think we stand a chance.
How could you be? I don't think they would win a playoff series. No. Maybe Joe would drag them to the second round, but once you play a Milwaukee or a Brooklyn or a Chicago or a Miami.
Well, we're going to find out today with Chicago. I think that's going to be a big test.
No, because they're going to win. They're going to win today, and everyone is. You go to the finals with Joe and a bunch of idiots.
I think you can. I think you could. I think it's a lot harder. I think, yes, getting James Harden makes you a better team.
Ted FX, Dame is a superstar. He's the guy we all wanted before the Harden news. Dame wants to play with a great big man.
If you're giving me Dame for Ben, straight up, done. Package it. I'm in. That's not going to happen. I mean, we're going to have to throw Maxey in that deal. I'm not for that.
Chicago isn't that good. I mean, there's another comment where I think that
Chicago's a solid team.
I think that I'm watching a different NBA. Chicago's loaded. They're loaded, and they have 4 guys who aren't megastars at Durant and Harden, but they have a whole starting 5 of Tobias Harris's.
DeRozan's
out of his
right
mind.
Now.
He's a top 5 MVP candidate. Lonzo Ball is just he's what Ben Simmons should be.
It was. I was just going to say Lonzo is pretty much as locked down as it gets in the NBA right now.
Except he shoots good foul shots and he's a willing offensive player,
Correct.
Whereas Ben isn't. Then you have Vucevic down low, who all he does is get double-doubles.
He's playing great. He's
been great. He was buried in Orlando his whole career. Yep. Now he's in Chicago getting the due justice he deserves. And I'm missing someone. I'm missing a good player. No, Zach Levine.
Yeah.
If Zach Levine's your best player, are you going to win a champion? No, but he attacks on the perimeter. He's got great size.
What's great about Chicago is they don't have a quote-unquote superstar. They have a lot of superstars.
But
right?
when they need a bucket, they have a guy in DeMar DeRozan on the perimeter.
Or Levine. Yeah.
DeRozan playing a little better than Levine right now.
I agree.
But Levine can also fill that role too.
Yeah.
And you have a dominant big man down low, Vucevic. So
that could get a rebound,
when Ted FX from YouTube, and Ted, I love you. You tune in a lot. But when I see a comment like that, Chicago isn't that good.
Yeah.
First off, they're 32-18. They're the
Chicago's
1 seed in a very good East.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So this is where I have a hard time. There's got to be a different NBA. Can you give me the list of the channels that the NBA that everyone else watches on, so I can disregard the channels that I'm watching the NBA on? Because I don't get it. I don't get how an educated basketball fan can sit here and tell me Chicago's not good and Chicago's not better than the Sixers right now. Go get me Harden, and then we'll have a talk about who's better between the Sixers and the Bulls, between the Bucks and the Sixers.
Let me ask you a question. Getting back to the Ben stuff. Do you want him traded for purposes of you just hate the guy now? Or do you legitimately think trading him makes us a better team?
I don't hate him. I've said for months now, for weeks at least, that the Sixers' best chance to go to the Eastern Conference Finals is to try and patch this thing up with Ben, get him in the building, play, get his value up, and then you go talk about it in the offseason.
All right.
If you still want out after we go to the finals with you, or the Eastern Conference Finals,
right,
and you still want out and you still hate us, okay.
We'll make it work. Yeah.
We'll get you out, and then it's a feasible
trade with Brooklyn.
Trade scenario where Ben Simmons, like, yeah, I played from March until the Eastern Conference Finals, and I averaged a triple-double. Then you can go to Brooklyn and be like, okay, we have this guy. He don't want to be here. Your guy don't want to be here.
Yep.
And we'll just swap him up.
Yeah, I think that would be the ultimate best.
The narrative that you're pushing that I hate Ben is just not. It's not.
I'm
not
pushing it. I just asked.
I understand, but like I don't hate Ben.
Okay.
I hate that he's a wimp, and that he's
that's fair.
doing this to our franchise. But I mean, look, we both agree that Ben Simmons has an elite skill set.
Right.
He does a lot to help you win. The Sixers' best. I think you agree with the statement that the Sixers' best chance to go to the Eastern Conference Finals this year is to have Ben magically be cured of his wimpiness and show up and play at the capable level that Ben Simmons can play, and that's your best chance to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. Because you give me a because look at 19, right? When you had Joe, you had Jimmy, you had Tobias, and you had Ben.
Right.
That's 4 guys. And unfortunately, that's the title that got away.
That's the title that we should have had.
That's the completion of the process there.
Yeah.
But, like, okay, you don't have Jimmy anymore, and Ben comes back to play, then you got 4 guys. You got Maxey, you got Ben, you got Harris, you got Embiid.
Right.
You can win it, not only go to the final, you win a championship with that 4, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah. I tend to agree with you, 100%.
Jake Friel, it's amazing the transformation of Lonzo has made since coming into the league.
Yes.
Yeah.
Completely has changed.
Like, and I think that, like, educated basketball people knew that this is the direction that Lonzo Ball was going. And, he just had detractors because his father was just being a complete idiot.
He also had a goofy-looking shot, too. When he first came into the league, his shot was weird looking.
I don't care if his shot looks weird. It goes in.
Well, he put in the time to make it more efficient or however.
Interesting. Someone who wasn't good enough at something.
And put the time in to better himself, and it's really showed the last 2 years.
And, I mean, John, I think we all hate at this point, I think we all hate Ben. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's a bad basketball player because I tell
that's all I want. That's all. I'm just tired of listening to it from the fan base. I really
tell the truth. I tell the truth on these airwaves. If I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl, that's what's going to come out of my mouth.
Right.
They're not going to win the Super Bowl because they suck. But if I thought that, I would tell you the truth.
Right.
I stand on my ledges, John. I'm not scared to be wrong.
No, I hear you.
I wear my wins and losses the same.
Right.
And I'm never going to change. What else we got here? I mean, okay, you're 2-0 versus Chicago this year. I mean, my counter to that is, playoff basketball is different.
It's completely different.
Regular season basketball.
It's not only completely different, it's a whole nother season. Like it's the only sport where I could say the regular season and the playoffs are completely 2 different years.
Because, like, if you're in the playoffs, because Maxey, I mean, he's 20. He's still pretty raw.
Right.
He's got to get hit the weights. He's got to fill out a little bit. He's got the body. He's got all the tools. But, if Tyrese Maxey has to cover James Harden in a playoff series,
it's going to be tough.
That's a huge issue.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
And will lead to the downfall of the Sixers.
Right. I agree with you. And that's my theory on making the trades.
I don't understand why everyone is dead set on holding Maxey when he's not going to be in his prime for 5 to 8 years when Joe's 35, 36, and then Joe's done, and then you got to get a bunch of guys to play with Maxey, and the process starts all over again.
Right.
So why not just take a shot, grow a set, say, okay, you want Maxey and Ben for Harden? Let's do it, and I want to try and get my championship from my fan base that was embarrassed.
If you're saying Harden, just like our poll question, I'm agreeing.
That's ideal, but
I'm agreeing.
You're boxed in because Morey, the longer you wait in these situations, the less you get. And everyone seems to understand that. It's basic economics, except Daryl Morey, which is frustrating.
Well, you don't know what the negotiations are. No one knows what the negotiations are. Maybe Morey's trying to make it work. Maybe the Nets are saying no. You don't know. No one knows what it is. But we'll find out on the 10th.
Yeah, but I guarantee you that Morey has gotten accepted between him, Ben wanting out at the NBA draft combine last May, and now I guarantee you that Morey has gotten an offer that would satisfy me, you, and everyone in the Delaware Valley, Sixers Nation, everywhere, that would have gotten Ben out of town and would have at least made you been an even swap from a talent standpoint.
Well, we'll see. If any trade that includes Maxey, I'm hesitant.
Yeah, but you understand that teams are calling Daryl Morey every day about.
I'm sure. I would bet. If I was a GM, I'd be on the phone wanting them too. But also, I'd be on the phone saying, I'm going to give you my 11th man on my roster for him too, because I know you're stuck. And that could be the offers that he's getting. We all know that he's getting a good quality offers. We all know that. Nothing's been reported that way.
He's not going to get a good quality offer because he has no leverage.
I hear you. So then wait. Then you wait.
It's like we're talking in circles. It's like the chicken or the egg. But we just said the longer you wait, the less you're going to get. So you're getting bad offers now. What are they going to look like in the offseason?
That's not true. We just said it. James Harden's going to demand out. Dame is going to demand out. If I can trade Ben straight up for those two, I'm doing it.
Teams are going to have more flexibility to do a sign and trade in the offseason than they are at the trade deadline for a James Harden.
So we wait. That's what I'm saying. That's why we wait. And Morey knows that. That's why he's waiting.
But
you're throwing away a year.
Throwing away a year with Joe.
I get it. I hear you.
He's the best player in the league. Like, I don't understand.
You're throwing away a year. Yes.
So frustrating. I hate Daryl Morey so much.
You're right.
I hate him.
That's
who I hate.
And I said
you want to talk about like Ben?
I don't hate him.
I can't stand this guy.
But we've been saying it now for a whole year, right? That if this didn't happen, we would not be in this situation. If this didn't happen, we wouldn't be in this situation. And one of those is if Daryl Morey would have traded him on draft day or in the offseason, we wouldn't be in this situation. Yes, that is a factor to this.
You remember the DeJounte Murray rumors?
Yes. I mean, the way that kid's playing right now.
He's a walking triple-double.
Yeah, that kid is amazing right now. I didn't think he was that good when that trade was being offered, but I wish I could go back and take that now.
These 22-year-olds that actually want to work, they get better.
Yeah, I hear you.
You see how it works?
Yeah.
But no, like we needed, and then obviously a trade like back when before Harden went to the Nets, like we could have had Morey held. It's funny because Morey held Maxey and Thibault in the trade with the Rockets,
right?
And he ended up going to Brooklyn. Now I wish we could fast forward. Now I wish we fast forward back to whenever he got traded to the Nets and give him Maxey, Thibault, and Ben for Harden.
Because I would do that now.
Have him.
Yeah, I would do that now.
So would I. Yeah. And I was against that trade.
Right. Right. That's what I'm saying. Is we want to bash everyone, but this past year there has been 24 events that we can look at or situations we can look at and say, hey, we wouldn't be in this situation with this team, with Ben Simmons and the organization if this didn't happen or if this didn't happen. There's just so many different scenarios.
So, Ralphie, can we get that? Can I do it? This comment, is that going to go up for me? Show. Nice. Okay. So Joshua, this is a good comment. I'd like to explore this a little bit. Not really throwing this year away. If you pick up other people at the deadline, the league is wide open this year. Okay, so
the league is a little bit open.
Josh, converse with us. I hope you're still listening. Converse with us a little bit. So, like, what do you need to see? Because it sounds like Josh is with us that the Sixers need to add to be taken
100%.
seriously.
Right.
So, what do you see? I mean, two trade rumors that I saw that would make the Sixers better, maybe would have put them over the Heat, but wouldn't put them in the finals, was I read a rumor that Furkan Korkmaz would be traded to the Indiana Pacers for Justin Holiday.
I'm all over that. I love Justin Holiday.
Justin Holiday would be a transporter of the basketball. You could even start him at point guard, and
he's a better defender.
Maxey play off the ball. He can play defense. I mean, he's Drew Holiday's brother, so he's got the bloodlines there. That would man Furkan Korkmaz. He stinks.
Yeah,
like,
he's
not.
If
really he's playing 25 minutes
tip
for
the
you,
needle for us anymore.
Yeah, I mean, if he's playing 25 minutes for you in the playoffs, you're screwed. You're not going anywhere. And then the other one, unfortunately, it's probably off the table now because he already got traded, was Danny Green, an expiring contract to Portland for Robert Covington.
Yeah.
Now, usually I'm against things like this because bringing guys back in, it's corny.
Bringing money, well, not I don't care about that, but bringing the money back would have been a little tough too.
But he's a better basketball player than Danny Green. Danny Green stinks at this point.
He gives us a little bit more options. I'll give you that, but
he stinks. Mark, he stinks. Come on,
man.
And he bashes the fans. He has the.
I am for getting rid of Danny Green because I don't think he helps us at any level right now.
This isn't Danny Green 5 years ago.
If you get Covington, if you make that deal and you get Covington, now you're putting George Niang on the back burner, right? Niang's been a good player for us, right? You're taking his spot. Or there's just so many things.
But all Niang can do for me is stand in the corner and shoot threes.
Listen, I'm just telling you.
I get it. Look,
Niang I'm just telling you add a piece, but it's got to be the right piece too. Like you just can't add just to add. It has to be the right fit.
How is Robert Covington or Justin Holiday not?
Justin Holiday, I'm in. Justin Holiday, I think, is a great fit. He can play multiple positions.
But
he can do multiple things.
If you did the rumor, it's just a rumor, and it's not going to happen now. But you're giving Covington Danny Green's minutes. It doesn't disrupt the apple cart at all.
Okay, I mean,
Covington's better than Danny Green.
Right. It's just, it's a different position, right? Covington's a 4-5. Danny Green's a 2-3.
Look, Covington has eligibility at center in fantasy basketball because of nonsense, but he's a small forward.
6'10".
Stretch. Is he really that tall?
6'10".
Maybe we should have never gotten rid of him in the first place. Clippers made a splash getting Norman Powell and Rocco. Norman Powell's on the deal.
I wouldn't say that's a splash, but okay. The reason
the Clippers are screwed because
but
Kawhi
this is the situation. The reason why the Blazers gave him up is because of coming on Simmons or what's that kid's name? Is it Simmons? Is that how you say it?
Ted.
Right?
We're good. We know. I know. I saw the trade. I know it's not going to happen, but I read Robert Covington in a lot of Sixers rumors prior to the Clippers trade.
Right.
And I think it would have made your basketball team better. That's all. Now you look. Because, we're 5 days away here. What are you going to do if you're...
There's no other trade besides trading Ben Simmons for somebody that is going to get us to a championship.
Okay.
Getting a Robert Covington is not going to get us closer to a championship.
I completely agree. It just makes you a better team. And it gives you but, now you have Robert Covington to play with James Harden. You understand? It's just a better overall roster. Look, just because you're not trading Ben Simmons... I will burn the Wells Fargo Center to the ground if the trade deadline on the 10th comes and goes and no moves are made by the Sixers.
I don't think we're doing a thing.
That's bad. Then Daryl Morey should resign.
And if it is, it's a small needle move. It's trading a Korkmaz for another 10 or 11 man on the roster. It's a small move. I don't think we're pulling a big move. To me, it's not the right situation right now.
No, you just lost for all that time on purpose, and you have the best player in the league.
You're going to go in this year. You're going to go into the playoffs this year and see what happens. Yes, that's what's going to happen.
I already know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you're probably going to lose to the Bucks.
Well, if you're in the 3-6 game against the Nets, you ain't winning a playoff series.
You probably lose to the Nets. Yeah.
So, cool process, bro. Cool. You get worse every year. process.
I just don't buy the theory. If it's a 3-6, we trade Simmons, Maxey, Thibault for Brandon Beal, that we're beating the Nets with that. We're not. We're not. We're not. Right? We're not beating the Bucks. We probably couldn't even beat the Celtics.
So Beal, Harris, and Embiid.
Right.
Versus Harden, Kyrie,
and KD.
And Kyrie's out half the games. Yeah, you win that series.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Stop it.
But don't you understand? It's like Joe is not going to be able to do a thing in the playoffs because they don't have a reliable. Like the Dallas Mavericks played zone against you the other night.
Don't you want to see if Maxey can be that guy in the playoffs? Like we know Ben isn't. So let's see Maxey in the playoffs. He looks like he has the mentality to be a killer.
But I think Maxey is that guy in the playoffs 4 years from now when Joe's 33 years old.
Well, so let's see this year. I'm just all for let's see. Instead of making a rash deal, let's see what Maxey really is before we move him. Because if we move him and it's the wrong move, we're going to pay for that for 10 years or more.
Look. Like these things about draft picks and prospects is there always is another crop of draft picks and prospects around the corner.
Right.
They just keep on coming.
Yeah.
Players as good as James Harden. Players as good as James Harden, Bradley Beal.
There's always
Damien
another
Lillard.
one. Yeah.
There's no guarantee that any of these guys are going to be as good or is going to be. Look, James Harden's perfect. Let's put the other guys aside. So we're talking about James Harden. We're talking about James Harden. Right. He's the best fit.
Yes.
Isolation perimeter scorer that can.
Give the ball to people.
Joe. Yes. Lillard would be second, and Beal would be third.
I'm with you on that. Yes.
I just, you're just going to sit around for 4 or 5 years for Maxey to be in his prime. Well,
no, I'm not. I'm going to sit around this year. And say, let's go into it and see what we have and see what we can do. All right, and then in the off season, when it's easier to make a realistic trade, then that's when I will do it. I'm not pulling the gun and trading Maxey now just because I'm in a rash decision to try to get rid of Ben. I'm not doing that. I'm not getting rid of Ben and getting rid of Maxey just for the fun of it.
So are you willing to let this play out for 4 years with Ben Simmons?
I hope it doesn't come down. I hope it doesn't come down to that.
But he ain't playing. He ain't playing here.
Correct. I agree with you.
And he it looks like he means business in terms of
holding
sitting.
Out. Yeah. I think he's holding out. But again, you trade Maxey now and he goes to the Wizards or Brooklyn and kills us for 10 years with Ben Simmons. Let's not forget, Ben Simmons is a young guy too still.
You can't think about it like that.
Of course you can.
It doesn't matter. It's moot. He's not going to kill it here. Under any circumstances.
You think Maxey's not going to kill it here?
No, Ben.
You're taking everything wrong. You're looking at this completely wrong. I'm trading Ben Simmons for the 12th guy on the Clippers.
But even I don't care. But even I'm not doing that.
I'm trading Ben for anything. I'm not trading Maxey. Any trade that is going to happen this year is going to involve Maxey. No team, including Brooklyn, is going to give you anyone without it being with Maxey. That's why I'm not doing it. All right? You have to look at the trade in two different manners. Trading Ben Simmons, I'm all for trading him for a Coke machine right now. All right? To get rid of him. And I love Ben. But let's get him out of Philly. I'll do it for anything. All right? I'm not putting Maxey in that deal. That's it. It's that simple. And I think that's where most of our fan base is with that. Is we're not trading Maxey right now. Let's see how he does in the playoffs. Let's see how this team does together in the playoffs. And then in the offseason, we got so much flexibility. Then in the offseason, we say, hey, it didn't work with Maxey. Now I feel a little bit safer trading him. If that's what it comes down to.
Samuel Rowe, Harden's top 75 of all time. I mean, he'd be at the back end of that, but maybe.
I agree. Yeah.
He says Maxey's not that good. I disagree with that. So we got one agree and one disagree. Troy H, check us out on YouTube. I wouldn't be surprised if the Nets want Isaiah Joe with Ben. They need shooting. I mean, listen, Troy,
Isaiah Joe is a shooter now?
Troy,
come
if
on.
you think you're getting James Harden for Ben Simmons and Isaiah Joe, like...
Yeah, you better throw in like 6 first-rounders, too, maybe.
You got to adjust the meds, brother. That ain't happening.
No.
Send over whatever drugs you're smoking.
Yeah, we'll have a fun night.
I need some of that. We're right over here. I can see it. Atlantic City's right over there. I can see it.
There you go.
You know, we have a good old time. Anything can happen, but ownership said they're not trading Maxey.
That's where I'm at.
Okay. I don't want to hear outrage when you lose in the first round of the playoffs because you were scared to take a chance and add to the best player in the NBA because you wanted to hold on to Maxey. I don't want to hear outrage over that.
I'm with you. I'm with the fan base. We need to know.
That's fine.
Right. We need to know this is the decision we were making as a fan base. We need to accept it.
And if
that's a fair point.
And if Maxey does underperform, I don't want to hear people crushing him either because you just told me for an hour and a half that let's wait and like you said, let's wait and see.
Yeah.
See what it is. So
that's a fair statement to make. Yes.
I would rather
we can't bitch about it when it's all said and done.
Ron L rather Beal, it would probably be a lot cheaper. Cheaper. I don't know. Because he's younger.
Every GM that has a superstar like a Lillard, Beal, Harden, or anyone else that you're thinking is available in trade are going to hold the Sixers to the fire because they know we're in a bad situation.
Right, and Beal, it's the same thing because I think Ralphie, is Beal up? He's a free agent this summer, right? It's the same thing as Harden.
Yes.
He has a year and a half left on his deal.
Oh, so he does have a year
Beal
left.
Does. Yes.
Okay.
So essentially he'll be a rental for you guys if you do trade for him.
Okay.
Well,
he has a year left. He has a year left.
Wait, but if they trade for Beal, they'll get him for the rest of this season.
And next year.
Yes.
And then they'll have to pay him.
Okay.
Yes.
So then I disagree with the comment in the chat from
that's not going to make it cheaper.
Beal would be much more expensive because you get an extra year.
Control of him for a year, yeah.
And then you get Tobias out of town and free up that money, and then you can give Beal his supermax.
Right.
So you have a year to figure out how to fit a Beal in, which it's really hard to qualify for the supermax. So Beal might not even be a supermax eligible guy.
I'm not sure.
I mean, there's only 8 guys in the league on a supermax.
Right.
And I think Karl Anthony Towns is going to be a supermax guy when he comes. So it's going to go up to 10. There's another one too that's going to be. So it'll push it to 10. Like, it's not easy to be a supermax guy.
I think Tatum might fall under that category.
Yeah, you're probably right. That guy, he's good. That's another thing to keep an eye on. Because, I don't know, it's not working up there with Tatum and Brown together.
It seems like it's not. Yeah, and Jaylen Brown was one. I know that we had rumors about that in the beginning of the year. I'm all in for Jaylen Brown. I would love that too. That would be a great fit. But again, I don't think you're getting that, Ben, for Jaylen Brown straight up. I just don't think any team or GM is going to do a straight up trade right now for Ben Simmons and a superstar coming back to the Sixers.
I wouldn't trade Ben and Maxey for Jaylen Brown.
No.
If you want to take Tease, if Ben and Tease gets it done for Jaylen Brown, I'd do that.
Yeah, I would probably do that.
Yeah. Because then you have Maxey, Brown, Harris, and Embiid. I'll go to Will.
I would do that.
I would go to Will with that.
Yeah.
That makes you a lot better. And it's just like it's like one thing after another with this guy. Like, at what point is it like just end the headache? It's like when you're suffering in the hospital and you're about to die, you sign the paper, like, yo, just
pull the plug.
Just pull the plug. We're good. I had a good run. Like, let's get me out of here.
But just think about it, like, we're here for what we've been talking about an hour now. Like, of every single scenario that there is. I can't imagine what Daryl Morey is going through, man. He must be going through the ringer right now with people just coming out of left field in this scenario, this trade, that trade. Like, he's got to be going crazy right now with all the options. And to figure out which one fits best and works best for him,
we get Harden. KD probably wants out of Brooklyn. It's OKC all over again. KD and a part-timer. You got to trade good players for great players. Yeah, Ted, I'm with you. I mean, I think
Right.
I think it's damn near impossible to win a trade in the NBA if you're not receiving the best player. That's just how
You lose.
league.
Yeah, you lose.
That's just how the league works.
So no matter how many draft
And
picks
look,
you throw in that, you're going to lose the trade.
Kevin Durant is not the issue, the crux of Brooklyn's issues. Kevin Durant is hurt right now, and he seems to get hurt a lot.
Correct.
But, to counter that point, I would say the only superstar that was healthy for the Nets in the Eastern Conference Finals last year was Kevin Durant.
And he carried that team.
Harden wasn't there, and I forget where
Irving was in and out.
And Irving was, in left field like he does sometimes. The Brooklyn Nets are having issues right now because Kyrie Irving is not on the same page as Kevin Durant and James Harden.
That's got to be a hard situation, man.
Kevin Durant and James Harden want to win, and Kyrie Irving he's just a weird cat, you know?
Yeah.
He doesn't want to get vaccinated, and look,
to each their own. Right.
Like you can counter that. Well, New York shouldn't have the man. We're not gonna get into that.
No.
We're not doing that.
Right.
But if New York, if we get into the spring summer and New York says, okay, we're gonna ease up and you can not be vaccinated and still play, then Brooklyn is the odds-on favorite to probably win the whole thing.
Right. Easily.
Because they have guys they've been doing a great job with these late round picks. Like Cameron Thomas dropped 30 the other night.
Great player.
They lost 20. They lost by 20, but he dropped 30.
Claxton, I think, right?
Yeah, they had Nicholas Claxton. Yeah. They've quietly done a good job. Joe Harris hasn't even played.
Correct. Yeah, he's another one.
They're paying him
best percentage shooter in the league.
I mean, he's a $20 million a year guy,
right?
And he's been out with something or other. Where are y'all? RJ, Steven Deuce. Every Sunday, the Ramp booth is live from the Ocean City Boardwalk. Rain, shine, snow, whatever. Between 10th and 11th Street, 1028 Ocean Ave. To Hat Store. Come on down. We'll put you on the air. You can rant about whatever. Become an A2D member. You get 20% off.
Yep.
We get the cornhole set up. You get a hat in hand. And you can actually get a chance for an extra 40% off.
Yep.
So we do it down here in Ocean City.
Just got a new shipment of new hats in too, guys. All new Philly hats, all new Yankee hats. Come on in.
Yeah, our man Mark is putting them up as we speak. Working pretty quick too, man.
Yeah, he is.
We got leopard skin Phillies hats. We got old school Baltimore Orioles hats. We got these college hats. There's some new designs over here. These weren't here last time.
Yeah, we got a whole new shipment in.
We did a remote show last week because we got thumped with the snow.
Snow killed us, yeah.
But yeah, we're down here every Sunday. Ocean City, New Jersey, between 10th and 11th Street at all campus.
Stop on up. Were you reading through the comments, sir?
Yeah, if we're having to include Maxey, I'm giving Ben Maxey to the Western Conference and getting Donovan Mitchell. Yeah, but it takes two to tango.
Donovan Mitchell?
It takes two to tango there with that one. I mean,
yikes.
The Jazz have a good record. The Jazz have Gobert and Mitchell and a bunch of good role players.
Yeah.
They have a good coach. So
good organization.
Why would they trade Mitchell and bring in a head case like Ben?
Yeah, I don't think that tips the mark for them. People don't realize, it's so hard to make a trade in the NBA because of matching money. But then you got to match talent. You got to match chemistry. The NBA is the hardest league to make a trade in, guys.
Ron L., if Morey doesn't make a move at the deadline, does he deserve to keep his job heading into the offseason?
Of course he does.
Where at this point, has the ship already sailed? I mean,
no, Daryl
Morey's not getting fired.
And he shouldn't. This is not – listen, it's a shitty situation for him, but this is not a situation that he created. This is not his situation. The team that is constructed right now with Ben Simmons on this roster is amazing. If we had Maxey coming in as a sixth man for an offensive punch on this team is a top 3 team in this league. Right? I mean, that's just the way that Morey has constructed this team the last year has been great. There's no difference.
In a couple hours here, the Sixers are in Chicago, and they're going to play the 1 seed.
Right.
Marquee game, 3:30 ABC.
Yeah.
Sixers are actually favored on the road.
By 1, right?
I saw 2 on
By
FanDuel.
2? Yeah.
I had some site credit on FanDuel, so I've been dabbling.
There you go.
Free pick of the day is the Houston Cougars laying 6 against the Cincinnati Bearcats. That's a basketball bet. 2-1 yesterday. Grabbed USC plus 11.
Yeah, we're done all of our football bets. We need to find something else to do.
Wake Forest plus 3 was a winner. And then UCLA lost outright to Arizona State. They didn't even finish the game because people were throwing stuff on the court.
That was disgusting. Anyway.
Yeah.
Do you want to get into a little bit of the football here? Going Pro Bowl and
I don't care
Super
about
Bowl.
Josh Sweat made the Pro Bowl.
Yeah,
that kind of put it.
Are you watching it?
No.
No.
I'll watch this. It's on at 3, the same time as the Sixers. So
okay,
I'll watch the
Sixers game.
Sixers, and then next week we have Super Bowl. Then I'm known to kick back a few brewskis.
Yeah.
To watch the Daytona 500.
There you go.
And the race, and throw some shekels around there as well. I'll bet on it. It's so bad. I bet on everything. It's so bad.
I don't think you bet. I think you lose on everything. As do I.
I mean, everyone lost on the Chiefs, but me.
As do I. That's true.
Everyone lost on the Chiefs, but me.
Yeah, including me.
So Pro Bowl I don't care about. Look, Josh Sweat's a Pro Bowler.
Right.
He's playing in the game today.
Yeah.
Josh Sweat, cute little player. I get
Pro Bowler, no.
He's not Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
Tell me to name the top 5 pass rushers in the league. Is Josh Sweat on that list?
No.
Give me a break, man.
The game's become a joke.
All right, there's our first football question by Ron L. That'll be brought to you by A2D memberships, $9.99 a month. You get a bunch of cool stuff, member shows, shout-outs, merchandise, giveaways, and picks from Willie Vegas and the Money Pot podcast.
Yes.
Do y'all think Howie will draft Malik Willis if he falls to us?
Man,
this is gonna get a little hairy.
Yeah, and I
because Malik did not have a good week at the Senior Bowl.
No, he did not. But in his defense, I do think, and listen, I haven't followed a lot of Liberty football this year, but I do think it looks like he has the best tool set, I guess you could say, out of all the quarterbacks. Does that make him a NFL quarterback? No, I don't. No, it might not. But if you're looking at just a prototypical type of quarterback, I think he fits the bill in this draft.
Do you think Howie's going to pick him?
I hope not. Yeah, I hope not.
You're a Hurts guy.
No, I'm not a Hurts guy either, but I have my 3 that I want in the draft.
That's another thing that I don't understand with this fan base. You have 3 first-round picks and 0 franchise quarterbacks, and everyone's dead set against drafting a quarterback.
Right.
Now, obviously, not the greatest year to have the 3 first-round picks from a quarterback standpoint. I get that.
Correct.
But if you see a guy that you like I think Howie, my bold prediction right now is the 19th pick in the 2021-22 NFL draft will be the Philadelphia Eagles select Carson Strong, quarterback out of Nevada.
Oh, really?
It's a bold.
Is that your guy? Is that who you think he's the best quarterback in the draft?
Well, because I think Pickett and Willis are going to go in the top 10.
Okay. I mean, there's always a quarterback that sneaks up the board and gets picked.
I mean,
way high.
I think Pickett makes a lot of sense.
I do. I think someone's going to go up and get Pickett
for Carolina.
Oh, you think that they're just going to hold the spot and take him?
Yeah, okay. 6. That's 6.
Okay.
Well, I mean, Rule, he was dead. He was.
Oh, he was a Pickett guy. Yeah,
he was Temple commit.
Right.
And then Rule went to Baylor.
He loves him. Yeah, and
then he went
out publicly and said
Pitt,
that.
And then he went to Pitt.
Right.
And he went 6 for 6 yesterday in the game, 89 yards. I think he had a touchdown. All the reports are that Kenny Pickett dazzled in his individual interviews with teams.
It looks like he's the guy jumping up the board.
Kenny Pickett looked to be the most consistent thrower of the football.
Right. And we thought that going into the year that Kenny Pickett would have been the best one.
The quarterback that I'm having the toughest time handicapping is Corral out of Mississippi.
Well, he's hurt now.
What did he injure?
Wasn't it a knee? Right?
He tore his ACL, Mark?
I believe that's what it is, yeah.
I know he got a single, but then it was I saw ankle. I saw knee. Ralphie, do you know?
I think it's a knee.
Okay, but a knee sprain
No, I think it was a ligament.
Is not a big deal in my opinion.
Yeah, I think
but
it was a
an
ligament.
ACL would be a big deal.
Yeah, I thought it was a ligament.
So, like, I think you have Denver, you have Washington.
Oh, there's so many teams out there. You have
Like,
Tampa Bay now. You have New Orleans.
Yeah, but they pick after. Well, New Orleans doesn't, but Tampa picks after.
Yeah.
Tampa's screwed.
Well, they got, you can always trade up. I mean, there's always trade ups.
So,
yeah, Jimmy G's the piece I think that's going to go first.
That's got Tampa written all over
it. And that's what we were discussing earlier today. I think that's a perfect fit for Tampa.
What about Hurts' feelings? So Samuel Rowe wants to know. I'm assuming that means he wants to know what my feelings are on Jalen Hurts.
You don't want to know that, guys.
Jalen Hurts stinks. Jalen Hurts is not a franchise quarterback. Let's stop kidding ourselves and use our assets to get a guy in here that has at least a skill set to be a franchise quarterback.
Okay.
I'm huge on Russell Wilson. That's my number one.
Right.
If I can't get him.
It was an ankle injury for Matt.
Oh.
It was
so no ligament?
Sprain is what they were saying.
Okay.
The x-rays came back negative for him. So
he's got a high ankle sprain.
Yeah, pretty much.
So he'll be a first rounder.
So he's going to go in the top 15 too.
Probably, yeah. I would assume so.
So that's going to be it. Now, obviously, he didn't participate in the Senior Bowl or any of these.
There's another Cincinnati Riddle or whatever.
Riddler,
yeah,
whatever his name is. Like,
I think he could be a surprise candidate late in the first, like a Tampa if they stayed put.
I don't know. This Carson Strong, he's got a howitzer.
Well, I mean, we see a lot of guys that have howitzers that aren't franchise quarterbacks.
Well, I have one now that's not a howitzer, and I have one now that's not a franchise quarterback.
I get it. I'm with you.
I don't understand. Everyone wants to kick the can down the road and kid ourselves that Jalen Hurts is the guy when he's not the guy. He ain't it. He ain't it. When your peers and other coaches are on the sidelines laughing at you in a playoff game because you can't get anything done, you ain't it. But John, you have the picks now.
Right. Listen, I say this to you in all due respect to you and to a lot of people. You guys are all living in this video game Madden lifestyle where you think you could just go get a franchise quarterback anywhere. Go down the list. Okay, there's only 7 teams that can say they have a franchise quarterback right now.
Right, but three of those 7s are rumored to be available this offseason. One definitely isn't Deshaun Watson. The other 2, we'll see what happens. So this is to your point.
I think we have a different philosophy on that. I don't think Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers commits to me that he's going to give me 4 years, okay. But if Aaron Rodgers is going to give me 1, 2 years, am I trading 3 first rounders for him for 1 year when this roster's poo-poo?
See, now this is where I disagree with most Eagles fans. The cupboard's not as bare here as you think it is.
It's not as full either.
Okay, but they made the playoffs.
Oh, but who'd they make it with?
Hurts.
Okay.
Which even proves my point even more that this roster outside of the quarterback position isn't as bare as everyone makes it out to be. Jalen Hurts, he can't throw the ball.
If you're trading everything for Aaron Rodgers, okay, it's Super Bowl or bust.
Correct.
Do you think we are a Super Bowl team with Aaron Rodgers? Do you think we're better than Dallas?
Well,
because I don't. Do you think we're better than San Fran if Lance turns into anything?
The only quarterback I would trade all 3 first-round picks for is Watson because of his age.
I'm with you. Yes.
And if he gets cleared with his extra.
If I got to trade 1 first rounder, if I got to trade the 15 for Aaron Rodgers, I'm in. I just think it's going to take more than that.
Well, what if you give 51 for Jimmy G?
I'm all over that.
Take 3 guys in the first round.
I'm all over that. All over that. I would do that in a heartbeat. I would do it yesterday.
It's an upgrade.
It's 100% upgrade. I just think that it's not going to. I think Jimmy G is going to command the first rounder also. Carson Wentz got a first rounder.
He got a first rounder with strings attached.
Well, it was a first rounder.
Okay, I hear you.
Right? So I just don't think you're getting a guy. You guys come in. I don't think we're getting a guy like Jimmy G for anything less than a first rounder. I think a team like Carolina would consider giving up next year's first rounder for him. Right? Maybe not this year's.
I wouldn't give a first round pick for Jimmy Garoppolo.
A team like Denver could consider it.
That speaks volumes to what I think of Jalen Hurts. That if I think Jimmy G is an upgrade, but I'm not willing to give up one of my first round picks for him, that should answer Sam's question right there in the YouTube chat about what I think about Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
And to the roster, I mean,
it's not a complete roster, dude. We're gonna have so many holes this year.
Nobody has a complete roster. It's a hard cap NFL.
Right. But this team, no linebackers. We're going to have no safeties. We're going to have.
Let's do it.
One corner.
Okay, let's do what I did with Ben Simmons, and let's focus on what we have, as opposed to what we don't. Okay. Yeah. We have a great running back room, bunch of solid guys.
We have a bunch of solid guys. I'm not going to say great. Okay, but we have a depth running back room.
They led the league in rushing this year.
Correct.
Accompanied by a quarterback who's mobile, which Correct. I don't think that will change because every quarterback coming out in the draft has at least.
Was he our leading rusher this year?
No, I think Miles Sanders was.
Miles Sanders was? He didn't get 1,000 though, did he?
No. Well, I mean,
Jalen Hurts got what, 775, something like that?
Yeah, but Miles missed time too. I don't know. Close.
Okay.
Maybe. But every quarterback these days.
It needs to be mobile. You're right.
Mobile. The statue we've talked about this.
It's going that way.
The statues are gone. The Matt Ryans, Joe Flacco's, those pure pocket passers, they're not
correct.
They're dead. So you have an elite offensive line.
Yes.
Okay.
You lose Kelsey though. You lose Brooks.
Brooks retired.
Right. And if Kelsey goes and retires,
Brooks didn't play much this year. And
correct. And you still are elite. I hear you.
Okay.
Losing Kelsey, I think, would hurt this offensive line. And that's still up in the air.
Obviously. But until I get a definitive answer that he's not coming back, because he was an all-pro this year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you
want
want
to... He made a statement last week that seemed like he wasn't really thinking he's coming back this year, in my opinion.
What did he say?
That he has to be able to love the game, be a high level, and he doesn't know if he can, do all three of those things that he wants to do.
This is February. I mean, when training camp comes around, this is why when a different quarterback besides Tom Brady is under center week 1 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that's when I'll believe Tom Brady's retired. Because I'll be damned, John Coyle, that if training camp doesn't go around,
he'll pull the old Brett Favre.
I'm kind of Giselle is kind of telling me to take out the trash and take care of the kids.
He's got a little bit more responsibilities at home. Got to go mow the grass.
I know his kid. One kid plays hockey.
Right. I saw that.
Like being a hockey dad, I think. Your little kid, your Brock plays hockey, right?
Yep.
So that's a big commitment.
That's
being a
huge
dad.
commitment. Yeah.
So why just hit Tampa up and get my $40 million for the year and give some chump $1 million of that to take my kid to hockey and I'll go win another Super Bowl. So when Tom Brady's not under center in week 1 for Tampa Bay, that's when I'll believe that he's retired. Because I'll be damned if he doesn't get the itch and show up
and be there again. Yeah.
Same with Kelsey. Same with all these guys.
You're right.
So we'll see. 3/4 of your defensive line.
That's our strong
pretty
point.
Good.
That's our strong point. And Graham coming back, it seems like.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I would count on him to be a rotation guy at this point.
It's a top rotation guy, though.
And Barnett will be gone. So his headaches will be gone.
Yep.
Sweat, good player.
Hargrave,
good player.
Yep.
Fletch, good player. Milton Williams, promising player.
Yeah. And Graham could play inside, outside.
It'd be
nice.
You don't have any linebackers. I can't argue that. Davion Taylor looked good and promising before he got hurt, so we'll see how that plays out.
Okay.
You have an elite corner.
You have one elite corner who's getting older, but you have, I still consider him an elite corner, yes.
So, there's no perfect team in the NFL. It's impossible to build a perfect roster. in the NFL with the hard cap. Like, look at the Bengals. They have a lot of pieces, but they have bad offensive line, which I think is going to be their downfall next week to tease our Super Bowl discussion in the time we have left.
Right.
So they're not a perfect roster. They have a franchise quarterback, though. The Rams are probably the closest to a perfect roster in a hard cap era that you can get.
Yes. Yeah. Them or the Bucs. The Bucs, I think, are a real perfect roster, too.
And they ended up playing each other, obviously, before Championship Sunday and the Super Bowl because they're in the same conference. But, yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, you have Ramsey, Donald, Von Miller, Stafford, Odell.
Ramsey.
Yeah. Cup. Van Jefferson, he's pretty good.
Woods when healthy.
You know, Higbee, he goes down, and Kendrick
that's going to be a big loss.
Kendrick Blanton, whoever that is, he had 8 catches. So, like, and you know, they have good offensive line.
Right. No,
good
100%.
running backs.
100%.
So, like, and now, if Brady is retired and gone, and Rodgers is gone, you have a chance to really grab the NFC.
You still got to beat the Cowboys. You still got to beat the Cowboys.
The Cowboys lose every game.
That roster is so good. You're right. They crumble in big games.
Every big game they're in for the last 25
But the regular
years.
season, you got to beat them, and that's a great roster.
I can get swept by them in the regular season and beat them when it matters.
Okay.
They're going to give it up.
They do.
Mark's choking just like the Cowboys back here.
They find a way to lose. I give you that. Yes. But what I'm saying is if you just look in general at the roster, we're way below them.
But let's say you give 15 and 16, like I've suggested, for Russell Wilson.
Right.
Now, the 2-3 best quarterbacks in the NFC potentially are Dak, Stafford,
and Russ.
Russ. And you have one of them.
Right.
Who's running at you? Green Bay's moot without Rodgers.
Correct.
Detroit's nothing. Minnesota.
San Fran could take a downturn with Lance.
If Trey Lance pops or if Trey Lance doesn't, I mean they're boxed into playing him at some point.
Oh, he's playing this year. Let's not care. So Jimmy G's gone. Trey Lance is our guy.
You have Cliff and Kyler down in Arizona.
I was just about to mention them. I think they'll still be an up-and-coming team. But, again, I don't think that they are a playoff-constructed team.
But, like, they'll be 10-2, and then December will hit, and then they'll lose out and be done.
Correct.
If I have Russ, I'm better than if I just add Russ as my franchise quarterback, I'm better than the Cardinals.
I think it's close. I think it's close. I think you're a lot closer.
If you played Arizona wild card weekend with Russ as your quarterback, you beat the Arizona Cardinals.
Right.
I think if you have Russ as your quarterback, you maybe not beat Tampa, but you're right there.
You're right there. I think. Yeah. I agree.
So like in the Saints,
there's so many pieces that have to be moved in the NFL this year, between the draft and free agency. That it's going to be a different year. I mean, the Saints have a great roster, but they're a quarterback away.
Well, they're $60 million over the cap right now,
and they're $60 million over the cap. Right,
make something happen.
A lot of that's going to be at the quarterback position.
You're shifting to remember like when the West was like way better than the East in basketball.
Right. The East is
now
coming on.
Now it's kind of it's kind of shifting back.
Right.
Like you're heading to like a powerhouse AFC and an NFC that is going to be wide open every year.
It's looking that way, yeah.
Because Dallas, they're going to have to move some things around.
Dallas is going to shed a little cap. Yeah.
Is that offense, how much less scary is that offense if Amari Cooper gets cut or traded?
I hear you. And that seems like the cap that they're going to want to move.
That's what happens in a hard cap situation.
They're going to lose Gallup. They're going to lose some pieces. But I just getting back to the Eagles, getting Russ for 2 picks, I probably would do that. Because it does put you at least in the contender conversation for the NFC. So yeah, I would do that, and hopefully you take Lloyd or something with the 19th.
Well, that guy Jermaine Johnson, he's not a Big Ten, SEC, Clemson, Notre Dame guy from Florida State. I was watching him. I am now.
Yeah.
Look, I put a lot of stock look, the game is the game with the Senior Bowl. Like the actual 60 minutes.
Right.
But, like, when they're going at it at practice and I see a guy that's, like, beating every offensive lineman like a drum, which is what Jermaine Johnson did out of Florida State all week at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big indicator to Mr. Scout Rob Brinkman over here that you're a cut above your peers.
I agree.
And you have a better chance to be a successful pro than the guys that you're dominating.
Right. Hey, I think he could be a talented player. There's
so many guys you could pick.
There's a ton. You could go corner. You could go wide receiver.
But you know Howie is. They're picking an edge guy in the first round.
They're
31st in the league in sacks. They're losing Barnett, and Howie always addresses the trenches first and foremost.
Yeah.
It's part of the reason he still has a job, and it's part of the reason the Eagles have had 4 out of 5 in the playoffs.
Yeah, you're always win up front. Yeah. I'm okay with picking an edge guy. That kid from Michigan, I'm big on him. I'm going to butcher his name.
Ojabu?
Yeah. Big on him. There's a lot of people that you could take edgewise.
And, like, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, one of these, like, Thibodeau's or Hutchinson, I wouldn't be surprised if a team falls in love with Johnson and they get pushed down the board.
Oh, I would be shocked if Hutchinson's not the 1 or 2 pick.
Well, how about our boy Dougie? He's got the first pick. Doug Peterson, hired by the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Seems like they might be trending offensive lineman that could kneel, I guess.
That's what Daniel Jeremiah said, and Bucky Brooks. They do the Move the Sticks podcast. They do a good job.
Yeah.
So
seems like they're going here.
But, I mean, Doug, I think it's a home run hire.
I think it's a great hire for them. Yeah.
Look, Doug has his flaws.
He's a great quarterback coach, I'll tell you that.
He has Trevor Lawrence, and the Jaguars have no culture.
No.
Whatever culture they had, Urban Meyer just sucked the life out.
Correct.
Just a total crumb.
Yeah, he put a lot of black marks on that franchise.
The players are going to like Doug. The players are going to be all in with Doug. The players are going to try their best for Doug.
And he's bringing in a resume, too. A Super Bowl winning coach.
And he's got one of the promising young quarterbacks in the whole league.
Yes,
Trevor
does.
Lawrence. And you have a division.
And good weapons, too. They got some decent weapons down there.
You have a division there, too. It's not great.
No.
Carson's an idiot. The Titans overachieved, I think, because...
Titans are in trouble.
Well, the Titans overachieved because the division's so weak, in my opinion. They weren't the best team in the AFC this year.
No, and you never know how Henry's going to be coming back. He didn't look very good in the playoff game.
Yeah. I think that's the least of their problems down there,
wow.
Derrick Henry.
I hear you.
But Houston, they're a disaster.
Yeah, that. Even though I do like the way Mills played this year, I thought Davis Mills had a great year.
Yeah, they got nada. Why did we let go of Doug? I mean, it's kind of how the league works when you go 4-12.
And I don't know if it was like so much of we let go of Doug as it just was a bad fit with management. Like that 3 top tiers, if they're not in line with each other, the owner, the GM, and the head coach, it's going to be a mess for any organization. And it just seemed like those 3 did not gel whatsoever. Between Morey, Howie, and Doug, it just seemed like it was a mess.
Samuel wrote Dallas can restructure contacts and be $40 million under the cap. They are fine. They're getting rid of players they don't like.
Correct. I think Dallas is going to be the favorite, at least in the East, in the NFC East, if not in the NFC.
And they'll underachieve and lose.
Maybe.
Again.
Yeah. I mean, that's the safe bet. But that roster is there's not a hole in that roster. There really isn't. Their offensive line's good. Their running backs are good. Their wide receivers are great. Linebackers are great. Defensive line, great.
Well, we got a few minutes left here. You want to give an early lean on the Super Bowl? What do you want to do?
Man, what's the spread? Is it 4?
4.5.
I bet the Rams to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I win $400 if
correct.
They win.
I think I'm at $350.
That's why I have the site credit on FanDuel because I got $10 or $5 a win. in their
Yeah.
promo.
Yeah, I think it's the Rams to lose. Stafford just needs to throw one or less interception. and I think you're okay. I really do.
I'm really concerned with the Bengals offensive line with against that pass
Aaron
rush.
Donald is going to have a field day. Von Miller could have a field day. Yeah.
And like, it's gonna be a fun game.
I think it's going to be a fun offensive game. Yeah.
It's just a fun because there's not an evil empire.
No, there's two lovable franchises.
Two likable teams,
Yep.
McVay and Taylor. I guess some people hate McVay.
Do you think there is a home field advantage for the Rams?
No, it's all corporate.
Okay.
You see the price of the tickets on. I'm sure you've seen.
Oh yeah, $6,000, the cheapest one.
$6,000 to sit on top of the stadium with your binoculars, so you can maybe see Dr. Dre at halftime.
Right.
Like, give me a break. Like, real fans can't afford to go.
No. You don't think there's any edge there to staying at home, staying in your own comfort?
Yeah, because I'm sure the Rams will sleep.
Right, they got their own practice facilities, their own gyms.
Yeah,
like they don't got to move nowhere.
I think they're obligated to stay in a hotel like the night before.
Oh, are they really?
I think
that would be a little weird, but okay.
But maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. So yeah, there's a comfort level.
I think it's got to give a little bit of an edge.
Baseball. I know you play baseball, and I play a little baseball too. Like when you're at like a familiar field, like
so much better.
The ball is gonna if the ball hits the fence on a gapper,
right.
I'm playing outfield. It's gonna bounce this way.
You know the angles, yeah. You know the sidelines, yeah. 100%. You know the backdrop, which is a big thing in the NFL, right? The passes, you gotta understand the backdrop. I think it is a little bit of an advantage for them.
Like Burrow is gonna have to really.
That's going to be a fun matchup. The Jamar Chase, Jalen Ramsey.
That's a good one.
That's going to be a fun matchup. That's the matchup I'm going to be looking forward to.
But like you have Kupp and Odell. I think Odell's going to have a big game.
Yeah, I think Odell is primed to have a big game. Yeah,
because Odell is an expiring contract. Odell clearly has a lot left in the tank.
Oh yeah.
Odell clearly was just fed up in New York, and then New York stuck up his keister and sent him to where players go to die in Cleveland. Now he's in L.A. where he likes it there. He lives there. His buddies live there. He likes the weather. He likes the atmosphere.
Loves the entertainment.
So yeah, I think that Odell is going to.
So what's your prediction? What do you got before we get off the air here?
I guess the Rams.
Rams?
I'll be interested to see if the line moves this week.
I think it's going to move. I think it's going to go up a little. I think you're going to see it get to 5.5. I think it'll get up to 5.5.
It'll be interesting to see. But what's the money line? Do you have any money?
I don't have it. I'll do. We'll do it all next week during the show. We'll make all our bets and everything. I didn't bring it up today.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say Bengals because I've had the Bengals the whole way.
You have. You've been on the Bengals the whole way.
But I think their carriage might turn into a pumpkin this time around.
Yeah.
Because they shouldn't have beat the Titans.
They should not. No.
You matched
up.
They
were given that game.
You match up against the Raiders and you beat the Raiders, and that's good. And then the Chiefs just
gave you another game. They gave them that game. Chiefs should have won that.
Yeah.
Chiefs should have won that.
So, I mean, does he have another magic left in him?
Yeah.
Maybe he's the new Brady. I don't know.
Maybe. You're right. Yeah.
Burrow, Brady, kind of sounds the same.
It'll be a good show next week. Get to talk about the Super Bowl, and we'll get into prop bets, and we'll get into a lot of things next week.
We'll have maybe something will happen with the Sixers, too.
Oh, that's true, yeah. We'll have the trade deadline. Yeah. Yep.
But yeah,
hopefully the MLB will get a little bit of
they're not playing.
Repeat. Is headed that way.
Nope, they're not playing. All right, that'll do it for the Rant Booth here. Super Bowl Sunday next week, live right here on the Ocean City Boardwalk between 10th and 11th Street at All Campus. Thank you to Ralphie for producing the show. Thank you to everyone who liked, commented, and shared our show. Until next week,